In this mini lecture, we're going to be looking at small business and entrepreneurship. So what is entrepreneurship? An entrepreneur is someone who creates a new business in the face of risk and uncertainty for the purpose of achieving profit and growth by identifying significant opportunities and assembling the necessary resources to capitalize on them. Or, in real world terms, somebody who sees an opportunity for a product or service and makes it a reality for the world around them. And really small businesses are also kind of under the concept of entrepreneurship because they're usually started by somebody who had an idea. So we're kind of using the two terms interchangeably. So an entrepreneur is somebody who usually likes risks. Um, they're very confident. They know they're going to be successful. They have a lot of energy because starting and running a business takes hard work. They value achievement, not money. They have to be motivated by something other than just money because really in the first couple of years, your business might not be too profitable, and that's very common and normal. They need to be committed because it does take time for it to succeed. They need to be flexible and innovative and adaptable. They need to have some organization skills or hire somebody who does. They need to be responsible. They have to be open to feedback so that they can always continue to look for ways to improve their products and services. And then persistent. It takes a lot of work, like I said, to start a business or to own a business, and there's going to be obstacles and ups and downs, and they need to be able to stick with what they're doing. So what are the benefits of entrepreneurship and small business ownership? Well, you get to call the shots. You have a high value of independence. And that's why what really fuels a lot of small business owners and entrepreneurs. They get to make a difference. They get to provide some sort of product or service for the world around them. You get to reach your max potential. It gives people the feeling of empowerment, and it allows them to achieve to determine their level of success that they want to achieve. You have some ability to control your earning potential and get to contribute to your community and to society through the products and services you provide. And hopefully, if you are starting a business or you own a business, it's because you're doing something that you love. So, for example, if you love making jewelry and you start selling it and it becomes very successful, you are and you start a business, you get to do what you love and you get to share that with your community and maybe even the world. So let's say that you have an idea for a business, but you need money to start a business. So where do you get money? Well, you can you can save up yourself. That's what a lot of people do. You can get it from friends and family. You can use credit cards, although I really don't recommend using credit cards. There's a lot, such as loans, etc. You can get loans from a bank, from the Small Business Administration. You can use crowdfunding like GoFundMe to raise money. You can use there are angel investors. In fact, in the area that we are in, there is the Pine to Prairie Angel Fund that serves Northwest Minnesota. These are people who invest in startup companies that they think have the potential to be successful. There's venture capital firms. They're companies that invest in startup businesses, similar to an angel, but that's actually what they do. That's their business. And then the Small Business Administration has loans. There's micro loan programs. I'm only familiar with what's in the Northwest Minnesota region, but we have the Small Business Development Center has loans. The Northwest Minnesota Foundation has micro loan programs, and usually they help to assume some of the risk that that banks don't want to assume. There are both opportunities and threats to, sorry, I'll take this out, owning your own business and entrepreneurship. So the opportunities are that there might be an opportunity to provide a product or service that currently isn't available. So let's say you live in a community and people really want a place to gather. Maybe there's not really a coffee shop or anything. Maybe there's an opportunity to start a coffee shop. Um, you A lot of times with a small business and entrepreneurship, there are lower overhead costs. There's technology to help you to make it successful. You get to provide customer service. Some of the threats are that there is a high risk of failure. About 80% of businesses do fail. Don't let that scare you, but it's just a statistic. Um, it can be a threat if you have a lack of knowledge and experience in running a business. There can be costly. A lot of people forego starting their own business because maybe they have really good health insurance through their current employer or other benefits. So always pros and cons. So there's different ways that you can start a business. One is to start it from scratch. It's you have an idea, it's your concept, it's your decision. Um, but some of it is that then it's all on you, and it does take a lot of time and money to start and to build a customer base. I have a friend who says it always takes about 3 years for a business to really take off. It can also be hard to get money to start your business if you haven't owned one before or you don't have a track record. It can be hard to get permits. Hiring people can be challenging if that's what you want to do. A lot of businesses start off as the entrepreneur running the business themselves. So that's just a potential drawback. You can also buy an established business. This is really actually valid in today's environment as we see more baby boomers retiring. Their businesses are for sale. So the pros are is that it's an established business. The organizational structure, the operating practices are already in place. There's customers, there's suppliers. It's easier to get financing because you have a record of sales, but you're also dealing with somebody else's business and there might be mistakes that they've made. And so you have to take on the risks with that as well. Obviously, a lot of pros there though. And then the other one is you can do a franchise. So a franchise is when you buy a well-known brand, and we talked about this a little bit in the last chapter or the last mini lecture. You're buying the brand, you're buying the management expertise, you're getting advice. They're telling you how to do everything, how to market it. The advantages are that there's a very low failure rate. However, there's less creativity because it's all packaged and you need to do something and you need to do it how the franchise tells you to do it. If something goes wrong with the brand, your business will be impacted. And the initial purchase price can be expensive, and you do have to pay a percentage of sales royalty fee or some sort of a fee to continue using that. So what are some tools you can use for business success? How can you be a successful entrepreneur or small business owner? Well, number one, you can get experience. You're doing a great job already by taking this course and learning some basics of business. You can learn from others. You can educate yourself, both in business and in the industry that you're in. You can utilize the resources available to you, such as the Small Business Development Center, which has free technical assistance, or SCORE, which is again business advice from retired business people. And there's others and you just have to look in your region. A really good place to start though is the Small Business Development Center. And then also you can develop a business plan, and this will help you to determine if it's even a viable option. A business plan lays out an executive summary is just a one-page summary of what's in the plan. It talks about what the company is, what the products and services are. It analyzes whether there's a market for these products and services and how the products should be marketed and sold. It lays out the organizational structure and the management team, and then you utilize some additional, you create some cash flow statements and income statements and so forth to see if it's going to make money. And then ultimately, you make a request for funding. Business plans are used both internally to help guide a business, but are also used a lot of times to gain funding, especially from banks. And so it's important that you understand what goes into that. So that's just a little bit about small businesses and entrepreneurship. Thanks.